showing up here tonight, who is my second father on earth. Hi, Charles. We love you. Oh, got it. So this is my first teaching ever. So I am going to be nervous with this tonight, guys. Have a little mercy with me. If I make mistakes, and I will, I apologize. This is our second grit meeting. We've committed to 2 more of these after this one. And we're just going to see how it goes. Hopefully it's going to go great. I want to welcome everybody here. And if it does, we're going to have more. And we've already got our next grit meeting scheduled. We don't have a date finalized yet, but we have the speaker. And Charlie will put that out on our calendar. First off, I want to send you guys, I'm going to type this in, so bear with me. I'm going to send everybody here my email address. So that way, if anybody needs to contact me for anything, or if you got questions about something, or if you send me your email address, then you will get notified before anybody else about when our next grit meeting is. And it's very simple. It's just pointman, the number 4, him@gmail. And I will put that on there right now. So that way, anybody who has it or anybody who wants it, if you'll send me back your email address, I will, I'll respond. Bear with me. I hope I did that right. Yes, it looks right. Okay. So welcome everybody. It looks like we have both the Garys here. Hey guys. Randy, brother, how are you this evening? Jim, I was seeing you when you checked in earlier. I saw the beautiful trees behind you, and man, I wish I was sitting there next to you right now. Let's see, who else do we have here? Charles Jordan, we haven't met yet, I don't think, but welcome. Tonight, guys, well, first off, let me give you, I want to give you guys a little bit of history on me, and I'm not going to go into my story or nothing. Let's see, I think we got a hot mic somewhere. There we go, I think. I'm not going to go into my story or anything. I just want to give you a little bit of insight to who I am. I am just the son of the Almighty God. And I believe in the Trinity. I call him Dad because that's how he revealed himself to me, and that's how I see him. So if you hear me refer to somebody as Dad, I am speaking about the Almighty Father. Let's see. This subject that we're going to speak on tonight, I am not an expert on it, not by any shape of the word at all. I've done a little studying about it, and I've had Dad has revealed some to me about it. And I just want to talk to you guys about it. So believe me, the only expert in this field is Dad himself. The rest of us on a day-to-day basis are just learning about it. And I want to just impart to you guys tonight some of what I've learned about it. And hopefully it will help you guys with your walk, because the one thing that I've learned, that our mission on this planet as men, the mission that Dad's given us, I feel like, is that we are supposed to remember, the things that he has, we're supposed to remember his word, and we're supposed to act on it. And that means a whole lot. But if you break it down to its basis, that's what it means. Randy, can I ask you, brother, if you would unmute your mic and just open us up in prayer?
Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come together. And what we're looking for is the truth, not any of our truth, but your truth. Your word, your truth, your your incredible desire for us to be near you. And we learn what that is through studying your word. And we ask that some of that truth be given to us tonight. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, Randy. I don't know most of you guys, and I don't think any of you guys probably may not even know who I am, other than I'm just Charlie's husband. But I was a non-believer for most of my life. And this year will be year 11 that Dad finally revealed himself to me. And he's been a passion of mine since that day. But let's get on with it. Tonight, I'm going to speak on the subject of our wives, the Ezer Kenegdos in our lives. It's a subject that I feel kind of passionate about because I spent a big part of my life, really up until just a few years ago, doing it all wrong. I grew up in a world where men were the leaders of their houses. They were supposed to take the lead in everything. The woman was secondary. You basically took a wife just so she could keep your house and give you children and cook your dinner. And not that you mistreated her, but that's just the kind of house I grew up in. So that's the way I believed it was supposed to be. And then when Dad revealed himself to me, he started showing me basically the error of my ways, that what I thought was the truth was not the truth at all. And so that's the subject I want to speak on tonight. And I want to ask you guys that on this subject, I don't want you to take my word for it. Anything that I have to say tonight is only what I believe today. And I have a absolute complete knowledge that what I know tomorrow will probably be added to, or it may be different. And it'll be because of Dad. He will reveal to me through my desire to learn and my study and his spirit what the truth is. And as I grow older in my walk with him, he reveals more and more. So it's like going to school. What I learned in kindergarten is not the same thing that I learned in high school or college, or now that I'm 62 today. And I want to ask that you guys don't take my word for any of this. Study for yourselves. Find a good Hebrew based Bible and look up the Hebrew words and study out those words, because the study of those words, not just the reading of the Bible, but the study of those words will help you guys to reveal Dad's truth. And I feel like the Bible has been translated so many times that so much has been lost in the translation, that the Bibles we read today are not that they're wrong, but the translation of it, there's a whole lot lost in the translation. And if you don't truly understand the original language that it was written in the translation, it just, you don't understand the true meaning of it. So I want to start tonight with just talking about what Ezer Kenegdo is. And I don't understand the true meaning of it. But I also want to say this, that as we go through this tonight, I want to ask you guys that you stay with me. Don't leave me, because you're here for a reason tonight. And it's not for my reason, it's for your reason. And Dad brought you here to reveal something to you. And it's not what I want to reveal to you, it's what he wants to reveal to you. And it may not even be what I'm talking about. And you guys truly understand what I mean by that. he brought you here for a reason, and it may be because he wants to answer a question you have. It may be that he wants to reveal something to you that you don't even know that he wants to reveal to you. At the very least, it will be food for thought. It'll be something that may just be like, wow, I never thought about that. Let me study that out and figure out what that means. And that's truly all I want to do tonight is just is throw a subject out there that gives you guys a little bit of food for thought. And maybe it'll make maybe if not our lives better, it'll make our lives better with our spouses. And that's what it's all about, guys, right? Is to have a good life. So we're going to talk about Ezer Kenegdo. And I want to start in Genesis 1:26. And it says, in the beginning, God said, let us make humankind in our image. Now, I think we all can agree that in God's image, God is not male, he's not female, he's both of that, and he's spirit. And if he made us in his image, then the original Adam was male and female. And this may be hard for some guys to accept, but I think if you go back and read it and study out the words, you'll come to the same conclusion that I did, that when God created humankind, when he created not just man, but humankind, and that's how it's explained in the Bible is humankind. He created humankind in his image. So if he did that, that means that the first human was male and female together. And then he separated us. And that word has been separated by, he opened up his side and he took a rib out and he made woman. That's not really right. If you go back and review the words, it's the original word in Hebrew is, and I know I'm gonna chew this up and spit it out. So please forgive me. It's spelled T-Z-E-L-A, Tesla. It's traditionally translated as rib, but and again, that's the translation of it. And there's a lot lost in that. But if you go back to the original Hebrew writings, it's actually hachat. Again, I'm going to chew this up and spit it out. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to write this down and I'm going to send it to you guys. This needs to go to everyone. You can tell I am not a typer. That's the original word of how God separated man from woman. And if you study that word out, what it actually means is it literally means one of his sides. And the picture is really that somehow God split Adam in two and formed woman. And he made man and woman. He originally made us in his image, and then he separated us. He didn't just pull a rib out as a bone and then form woman out of a bone. He formed them out of Adam's side, which means somehow God decided to split man from woman and formed two humans. And in the Bible, the first use of Adam is a generic. It's used in a generic form. It's not used as the male form. It's not used until in the male form until after he makes that split. And that's a little hard to chew on, because when I first started reading the Bible, I had a real problem with trying to understand, well, how did he make man and woman, but then he didn't he didn't have Adam until he formed him out of the dust. And then he pulled a rib out of the man's side to make woman. And I really didn't understand that until I started researching all of this in Hebrew. And that's when I came across all of this. And it just opened my eyes, and I was hooked. So it was after that oops, my wife's got one of these my wife's got one of these desks that raise up and down, so excuse me. So the image is that human was separated into man and woman. If you can imagine that, he didn't just open up his side and pull one bone out. He separated man from woman, and then Adam said, named the other human, the other person, woman, and said, flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone. A little food for thought here. If he had pulled him just out of his side, out of a bone, and made a woman, why would he say flesh of my flesh? Because if he just pulled a rib out, it wouldn't be flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. It would just be why he pulled a bone out. And that's not what he said. He said flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone. So the image is that now we have two humans. We have a male and we have a female. God separated the man and the woman so that they could have companionship with each other. Because if you go back and read Genesis, he didn't say as he was going through the days of creation, it wasn't until the third day that he said it was good. And it was on day 6 that he said it was very good. And that's when he created man and woman. And the complement between men and women is inherent in the way that they were formed, by being taken apart from each other so that one supplies what the other one lacks. Think about that. If you have a human who is male and female and you separate them, then one of them is going to have strengths that the other one don't, because as you separate the two, you're going to pull parts of one from the other, and they're going to have strengths and weaknesses different from each other. But if you bring them back together, they complement each other. I want to read you guys a passage here that I found that was interesting today. So this is from a rabbi who's got a Hebrew site that I found that I find it very interesting. And it says, when God pulled the two of us apart, man and woman, so that way they each have their own strengths and weaknesses that they complement each other. He says this actually solves a mystery in the text. In Genesis 1:27, God created both male and female. But in Genesis 2:24, it appears that Eve is created after Adam. How could this be? Because both were present in the first person, and the woman appears after being separated from the man. Supporting this throughout the entire story, the word Adam is generic form meaning human, and specifically male. In Genesis 5:2, it says so explicitly, he created them male and female and blessed them. And when they were created, he called them Adam. So that was the first time that, there I keep doing that again. I keep putting my phone on the buttons that raise the desk up and down. The point I'm trying to make here is that when God decided to create humans, he created the first human as male and female, and then he separated us. Nowhere in that whole thing does he give one authority over the other or make one better than the other. make one who is subservient to the other. He made us as equals, and he gave us our commission on this planet as equals, not as one who is supposed to serve the other, not one who's better, not one who's less than. He made us equals. And in the translation of the Bible, I think it's been lost. In the translation, a lot has been lost that, and we've been taught for so long that that woman is basically our helper, and some people see it as subservient. I don't think that's correct. I think it's God put us both here equally to complement each other, and not to be one who is stronger, meaning in every way, than the other, but to complement each other, and that we're equal partners in this, meaning that we might be stronger than women physically, but women, I honestly believe women are stronger than us emotionally. They're able to raise the kids and do all of the things that we're not. And it's, I think we've been told for so long that men have a that we're smarter, we're stronger, we're tougher, we're all of these things that women are just our helpmates. And some men even believe that there are basically our servants. And I don't believe that to be true. I want to kind of stop right here and kind of throw this out for discussion. Does anybody have any comments about any of this right now? So if you do me a favor, just unmute your mic and just speak up. What's your thoughts on all this, Randy?
It didn't take you long to get into something that is new to a lot of people, the thought process. This is, to my understanding, that these things that you're saying is a long held, Hebraic thought. I have told people that guys, this is just my belief. Okay. It's my understanding and my thought process until I know differently. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody?
Absolutely.
Okay. That when God separated male and female, that the very best part went with the female. I mean, when your wife walks into a room, the whole room lights up, that the whole house does. But hey, this isn't anything that I'm new to, the thought process. I think they both were there at the same time. Both were created on the same day. When Adam and Eve were separated, male and female were separated. The new creation of Eve, or Isha, woman, would be considered a later creation than Adam, just the one image, the one. And maybe we need to take a look, Randy, at exactly what the word image means when God says, "Let's make man and mankind in their image," and that may help.
Yeah, that's great. Father Charles, what do you think about this? If there's anybody here who may be an expert, it would be Charles. Can you fix it? Oh. Oh, okay. So it looks like,
It's going on.
Can you hear me now, Randy?
yes, sir, I can hear you.
All right.
You can?
For years, I meet with my wife every Friday night, and we call that Shabbat dinner. And at that dinner, I pronounce a blessing over her that says, "A woman of valor, who can I find? She's worth more than rubies. She's a man's prized asset. She extends her hands to the needy. She reaches her hands out to the poor. She's clothed in strength and dignity. She looks to the future with cheerful trust. Her speech is wise, and the law of kindness is on her lips. Those who love her rise up in praise." Then I say, "Miriam, charm is deceptive and beauty is short-lived, but a woman who finds her praise, she finds it in the city gates," meaning that the men go there and they talk about the attributes of their wives. I'm going to pass it back to you, Randy.
All right.
I have something
Gary,
like
it looks
that.
like you want to say something.
Yes, sir. I've always believed that being a man, I'm not complete without my wife. God put us apart. And I believe if you marry the mate that God intended for you to be, that you, are made complete and whole. And without her, you're not a full person. I depend on my wife for so much. As you see in the scriptures, like Adam depended on Sarah. Abraham depended on Sarah so much, that when she was gone, his life was empty until he got wed again. And I just believe that, women are essential for us as men to go through life without having a mate, without having a wife, I think would be a very empty life. I just am so grateful that God brought Maisha to me, Linda, and that without her, I just would not.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We're put here to be like God, and the only way we can do that is when the male and the female come back together.
Right. Why it says to cleave together,
Exactly. Jim, it looks like you have something here.
Hi there. Well, I met my wife when I was in 8th grade. She was in 7th grade. And we kind of grew up together. But what I do at least once a month is Proverbs 31. And I say that blessing over her.
Yeah.
And I made sure that, or when our kids were growing up, they would hear it to bless their wives also. And when I introduce my wife, I don't say, "Hi, this is Marion." I introduce her as my bride because she's always my bride no matter what.
Yeah.
It's not just the one day that we got married. She's still my bride. And I think that makes a big difference to her and also to the people that I'm talking about.
Right.
Because she is part of me and I am part of her.
Yeah,
and it
that's
shows
good.
our commitment to each other.
Mhm.
I'm just, we're going on, I think 46, 47 years of marriage that I've never had an argument I've won. So,
Yeah. That's a big commitment. You guys, wow. You guys have you made the commitment to each other and you stuck with it. Great for
well,
you
when
guys.
I said I do, I did.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but, and, we've been on the tallest mountain and to the bottomest valley, but we have always said every single night, no matter what goes on during the daytime, every single night, we've always said, "I love you," and mean it. not in a, not in a nasty way, but we actually mean it, because you never know if the Lord's going to bring you home the next day.
Yes, that's true.
And
Yeah.
I think it's important for every guy that's married to say that to their bride. And hopefully the bride responds back. So.
Okay. Sorry, every now and then I get a little distraction off to the side here. So
That's
if you
fine.
see me looking off to the side, you guys just keep going. Don't worry about me. So anybody else? Who else has got a, let's see. I was told that Steve, I don't see you in here, but are you with us, brother?
Yeah, I'm on, Randy. This is Steve.
Oh, hey,
I-
what do you
I-
think
I
about
don't-
all this?
I don't have a camera, so I'm just on audio. But this is interesting. Some of it's very new to me. The idea that they were together initially and then God split them after that. I was just going to say, as you know, I'm sort of new to this approach, and I'm learning about how on Shabbat, the tradition of blessing my wife. And one of the things that I've tried to focus on, which came to mind when you were talking about how the husband and wife complement each other, is I tried to communicate to Deborah the ways in which she kind of completes me. The idea that the differences she has, and I try to identify those. At first, I basically just read Proverbs 31, but after that, I began to kind of ad lib a little more and to add other things to that, to share the ways in which her life has kind of completed mine. So I just wanted to comment on that and let you know that I really appreciate you sharing and letting us have the opportunity to think about these things.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I really appreciate all of you guys showing up tonight. Again, I am no expert on this subject. The only truly expert on this subject is probably it's either Randy or Charles, but it's definitely Dad. It looks like we've got one other. Dwayne, welcome, brother. Looks like Dwayne's got something he wants to say here.
Oh, I forgot. I'm on Dwayne's account. This is Steve, the other Steve. And I just wanted to say, one of the words that's always associated with, a relationship between our wives is ahad. It's this idea of oneness. And this idea of oneness has more to do with this idea of being following the same vision, specifically following the vision of our Father's house, our Father's tent. And I love the way you refer to Yahweh as Abba or Daddy. He's our Daddy, and we are to be one with that vision. And in the Hebrew, one of the ideas is that Yahweh brings, the bride appears when we become the man that we need to be for her. And this idea of then you grow together and you follow that vision and you follow the current of your Father's vision, his will together. And I just love, and this is so encouraging hearing all these other voices. And everything's been real positive, and which is great. You never know what you're going to get sometimes when you bring up subjects like this. some guys, their pride kind of gets in there, and it kind of ruffles their feathers a little bit. But tonight, I mean, this is really encouraging because everybody it seems like we're almost all on the same page here.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like that. Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, this has been good, Randy.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh, looks like we have my son here. Anthony has joined us. Welcome, Anthony. You guys made it home quick.
Yeah, we just barely pulled in. How's everybody doing today?
We're doing great. Let's see. We got anybody else here who's got something they want to add to all of this? Yeah. I see we have a guy here with us who signed in under Caitlin Henderson's account. And I don't know this gentleman, but unmute your mic there for us and just introduce yourself.
All right. Hello. My name is Robert Henderson.
Welcome, Robert.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. My wife is involved in a group, Messianic group, and she has been trying to. She introduced me to this, so here I am.
Well, welcome. We're glad you could join us tonight. We've
Thank
got
you.
almost as many guys tonight as we had our first night, and Steve was our speaker that first night, and he did a great job. Much better than I did, I could tell you that, or I'm doing. But so let's see, I had something I wanted to share with you guys. Boy, I tell you, I get going down a rabbit hole and I just don't know how to get myself back from that rabbit hole. Has anybody ever heard the term Ezer Kenegdo before? I never heard this term until my wife shared it with me. And then, I mean, of course she shared it with me and then I had to go figure out what it meant. But has anybody else ever heard that term Ezer Kenegdo before? And if you have, do me a favor, unmute your mic and give us your understanding of that term.
Randy, could you spell that for us?
Ezer Kenegdo, E-Z-E-R, a second word, Kenegdo, K-E-N-E-G-D-O, Ezer Kenegdo.
Thank you.
I've heard rabbis describe this idea of Ezer Kenegdo is without our better half, we're like a board that would be falling over, and our wives come and they are the other board that comes up and supports this board that's starting to fall over. And it creates this like triangle, and our better half holds us up and gives us the direction we need. In my own life, my wife is armor. She's not just something that's propping me up and helping me along. She's part of my armor. Because without her, there's just so many things in this world that would draw you one direction or another instead of staying on the path. And whenever I got a little temper sometimes, and she always says something real gently and subtly, just to say, hey, you better rein that in, buddy.
That's good that you say that, Steve, because that picture that you're painting there with the two boards propping each other up, for any of you guys who are, want to be carpenters like me, you understand how if you take one board away, the one falls over. But if you have the two propping each other up, they're co-equals in the pressure that they put on each other to provide that structure that keeps them both standing. And I mean, that's a perfect example of what the male and female are supposed to be for each other.
Right.
That's good. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you for that.
Randy,
Yes, sir.
Randy, do you have an address for that? I found Ezer, in the Blue Letter Bible, looking up Genesis 2, yeah, but I never find a Kenegdo. Where is there a place in the Bible where that's at? An address? You know?
You know what? I have to be honest with you guys. I am not a guy who quotes scripture. So
Okay.
I will do this though. I will find that for you because I know it's there. And
Okay.
I will send you an email with that information in
Good.
there.
Okay. I just was curious. I
yeah.
couldn't find it. I just
Yeah, I know it's there. And I will find it for you and I will send
Okay.
it to you. But
Thank
I
you.
am not a guy who quotes scripture.
Right.
Man, I have just never been a book learner my whole life. I've always been that guy who I have to put my hands on something before I can actually retain it in my brain. So
Okay. Well, I
I will
understand,
probably
yeah.
I will probably never be that guy who can just quote scripture to somebody.
Right. Right. I just thought you might have it written down somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody who's on here tonight has that information, please pipe in, guys.
Yeah. I did, but I can't think of it right now. Because we've done this study before, me and my wife. But it's like a adverb. It's one of those connecting words that lends itself to this idea of a counterpart or a mate, obviously, because it's help. Ezer is help, and then Kenegdo is
Right.
that part of the word that's mate. But it's a lot more than just mate.
Right.
When you really dig into it, it's pretty neat. And any of those words, when you dig, they just blow your mind.
Right. Right.
Yeah, my wife opened up the Hebrew language to me and the study of it. Not that I do a whole lot of it, but it has it's literally blown my mind every time if I start down a rabbit hole and get onto something and she reveals a word to me and I start studying that word out, I am just I'm like a dog on a bone when I get on it. Because I can't, it just blows my mind to understand the original Hebrew of something and how it in the translation, lost in the translation. There's nothing truer than that when it comes to the Bible. What do you think about that, Randy?
Okay, you're probably not going to find the word Kenegdo in the King James version. You're going to have to see what the Hebrew,
Yeah.
the Hebrew of it is, and look for that in the Tanakh,
Right.
or the Torah.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking in the Blue Letter Bible, and under and it just said Eretz, it didn't say Kenegdo. So I just wondered,
Yeah.
where it was, because I understand
Now,
it means helper. Yeah, I know Eretz means helper.
Genesis 2:18 will have it in the Hebrew, I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
If you want to go there and look at the Hebrew later on, find out what the word looks like, what the letters are. If you
I have
don't
a
read
Kamash.
Hebrew,
I could look in the Kamash. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the Bible I finally settled on was this one. It's called the Complete Jewish Study Bible. And not that it has everything in it. It doesn't. It's just when I became a believer, I locked myself in a room for almost a week and I read through the Bible almost 3 different times, straight through from one end to the other. And it it gave me as many questions as it did answers. And it wasn't until I got introduced to the first 5 books of the Bible that um, it all kind of opened up to me. Because when I first started reading it, you know, you can start reading the first, you know, especially when you get to um, Numbers and the rest of that stuff. It's like, you know, you want to fall asleep while you're trying to read it. But when when the Hebrew when the Hebrew translation of the Bible got opened up to me, it it reopened my eyes to the Bible. It started answering all the questions, and everything just felt right to me. It answered a lot of those questions. So I don't know if that's the same for anybody else, but man, it was sure true for me. So I whenever I pick up the Bible and read now, I read a Jewish Bible, but that's just me. My wife always says, "Thank God for the King James version of the Bible, because he's the one who actually brought the Bible to the masses." Um, but he was that kind of king who was, "Oh, I'm going to force this on you," you know. And so everything with him was about authority, you know. So that's how we got the Bible. In instead of having the 10 words, we got the 10 commandments, you know, and when it's actually the 10 words. What about you, Gary? We haven't heard anything from you tonight. How do you feel about all of this? Is this does any of this ring true to you? Has it has anything been revealed to you tonight? What do you think, Mr. McCulloch?
Well, I like Robert, am newer to this. My wife introduced me to the Messianic, um, Bible studies. So I'm kind of just starting to grow with it, and this is a great place to start. I do hear what you guys say about, um, your wife being your armor, as Steve would say. Uh, in this part of my life, she truly is my armor at this point. Um, she's helped me through so much, even growing in my faith. Um, you know, Instead of pulling me along, kind of helping me along. But much needed in my life is my wife, rather than a helper, or anything that even you said, Randy. There's so many things that the world tells you that we don't need to listen to. We just need to follow our hearts and follow God and what he's taught us on that.
Yeah,
That's what I agree, and that's what I believe in. New or not, it's just something that's embedded in you, if you're a believer.
I think there's a part of I think there's something in every man that that this information will ring true to. Um, Even when I wasn't a believer, um, I used to tell my wife when we first met, but before we were married, that it's I'm I'm not your boss. I'm not your it's not my job to tell you what to do and how to do it and whether you're right or wrong. You know, it's if we're going to be together, it's my job to just support you, and that's what I've tried to do with her from basically day one. And now that um, ever since Dad revealed himself to me, um, it it reinforces to me that that was in me to start with. That I wasn't, I was no better than my wife. She was no better than me, that we were partners in this whole thing. And it's dad's design for us to be partners and not to be, separate or one better than the other. That we are, two legs of the triangle holding each other up. And that just reinforced to me that was dad's design for us, that was in me before I even knew it. And I didn't even understand why.
I agree. That's how I've always felt too.
Yeah.
So, my wife's always known from the time we got together. It's not my job to tell you what to do or to judge you or anything.
Yeah.
It's just not, that's not why I'm here.
Yeah.
We're together for a specific reason. God put us together.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're here to come together and just try to be as much like dad as we can be.
Yeah. I truly believe God created marriage so that we can learn to get away from ourselves and not be selfish and self-centered, that there's now two, and that you're not all there is in the world. You need somebody. You need to be supported by somebody. You're not strong enough to be on your own. And that your life now is about two people, not just yourself anymore.
Yeah.
It gets you off your self-centeredness.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're getting close to our end for this evening. I want to take a minute here to I know probably a lot of you guys probably don't know each other. Yes, sir, Randy. I see you raise your hand.
Before you shut us down, there's an author by the name of Skip Moen that has a book, Guardian Angel, that has a lot of really good information, additional information, what we've been talking about tonight.
That's funny because leading up to this, in preparation of being here tonight, that was one of the books that my wife said that I should read, and she had it, and I started reading it.
Yeah, Gail gave it to her, I bet.
Yep, probably did. And it's a thumbs up, guys. That's probably a book you should read. It will give you it'll give you a lot of good information.
So, Randy, this is Steve Gold. What was the author's last name? Moen, is that right?
Yeah, Moen, M-O-E-N.
Moen.
Oh, okay, M-O-E-N. All right, thank you.
And it's called The Guardian Angel. I've got a copy of it. I just don't have it right in front of me, or I would hold it up for you guys. It's been around for a little while. So it's not a new book. It's out there, and here we go. This book right here, guys. So I didn't get all the way through it, but it's got some good information in there. So I want to take this moment. Most of you guys don't know each other, but I want to introduce you guys to somebody who's really important in my life. And I don't call very many people a good friend. That's a term that I use, that I hold very tight to my heart. And this guy he's that for me. He's felt like my brother ever since I met him. And he's going to be our speaker next month. He's agreed to do that. So I don't have a clue what he's going to teach on. Don't care. I'll be here to listen to it and to soak it in as much as I can. But I just want to introduce you guys to Randy Heaton. Again, he's anything I've got on this planet is close to a brother, as you could call. So he'll be the guy speaking next month. So I hope all of you guys not only come back, but have your wives get as many women out there to join Charlie on the Rooted Cafe, so their husbands can come and join us here in this, because this is only for men. whose wives are part of the Rudy Cafe. And maybe someday we'll have our own thing. But for now, this is what we have. This is us. So I'm so glad that all of you guys joined us tonight. Randy, I look forward to listening to you next month, and maybe you'll give me a little sneak peek into what you're going to talk about before you do it.
As soon as I come up with it, I will.
Whatever it's going to be, I know it'll be informative. So, guys, thank you. Does anybody have anything they want to add before we call it quits for the evening? No. Well, thank you guys for showing up. Let me just say a little prayer right quick, and we'll finish up for the evening. And again, you guys have my email address. If you guys send me yours, send me a quick email. You will know before it's put out anywhere else the day and time of our next meeting. And I'll get that information to you guys as soon as we can. Lord Father, we thank you for being here with us tonight. We thank you that you brought us all together. I thank you for all these men who showed up tonight, Lord, and that for whatever reason they were here tonight, Lord. I just thank you that you brought them, that you imparted whatever wisdom that you had for them. Even if they don't know it yet, Lord, they will know it, because we know that you're faithful. We're faithful, that you're faithful in your love for us, that you're faithful in your teaching of us, and that you're always true to your word, Lord. And we just thank you for being here with us tonight. And we ask you that you continue to be with us, and that we just love you, Lord. And we thank you for letting us be here as brothers. Amen. All right, guys. Thank you. And
Thank
yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you
Thanks a
very
lot, guys.
much.
Have a great day. Thank you,
Thank you.
Randy. Great job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, guys.